Should you take lessons or go to music school or study formally? Only if it aligns with your goals. And by extension, the most important element of selecting a teacher or a school or a circumstance like that where you're going to give yourself over to somebody else and learn, you know, at their instruction is, do they understand and have a plan for helping you advance towards your goals? So let me give you a concrete example of that. Um, I see this come up a lot with like the idea of people critiquing singers and saying you should take vocal lessons. And I think that generally speaking, for someone whose goal is to become a rock singer or singer-songwriter, taking vocal lessons is not a one-size-fits-all situation. It's not something I would recommend for everybody. I've never taken vocal lessons myself, for instance, and I have a pretty good sense of why I'm not interested in that. I know what my goals as a vocalist are, and I feel confident that I have my own plan for getting there, and I'm happy with my progress towards that goal. And I'm not really looking for a separate instruction that is more likely to pull me away from the goal than send me towards it. I've taken lessons with some other instruments that I've played as well, and I've had kind of mixed results that have helped me form this opinion. So as a drummer, I've taken drum lessons. I went to music school where I, studied composition, but my major instrument in music school was percussion. And that drum teacher that I had in college was a great example of someone who did align with my goals and made a plan for how to instruct me on how to be the better version of me that I had in mind. And along the way, we talked about other things that I may not have known about or considered. But central to our curriculum was moving me towards the goal that I had in mind, not his version of what a drummer should be. And so he was a good fit, a good instructor, and I learned a lot from him. Also in college, it was a requirement that I take a piano proficiency. Now, as a piano player, I had my goals, which had a lot more to do with, being the best piano player I could be within my own specific system of harmony and melody, being a great player of Cody Weather songs, and not so much being, sort of a mainstream classical pianist. Unfortunately, piano proficiency is a course that wanted to strip away my own progress towards my goals and replace it with progressing me towards a different goal. And that's just part of, that's a standing curriculum, but to me, it's an example of sort of the opposite. That was an experience that made me a worse piano player in many ways because it took away some of my motivation. It clouded my own pursuit of my goals. It was a setback, in fact, for me. And also being told over and over that everything I'm doing is wrong when I feel like, hey, I'm pretty decent and I'm succeeding, though I still have a ways to go. I'm succeeding towards a goal that I want. That's my hesitation in recommending that people take, for instance, voice lessons as popular singers, as rock and roll singers. And so if your goal is to become, if you listen to, the Beatles and you listen to, whoever it is, a popular singer, and you think that's kind of what I want to sound like, that's kind of what I want to be doing, you really need to be careful in selecting a voice coach. Do they get it? And are they going to move you towards that? Or are they going to be the kind of voice coach who says, Mick Jagger's a terrible singer and that's not what you should aspire to. And I'm using, old classic singers we all know. Same like a guitar player. I've seen guitar instructors who say, Jeff Beck doesn't know how to use a pick. He doesn't even hold a pick. He's a terrible, technically he's a terrible technical guitarist. Jeff Beck's one of the greatest guitar players who ever lived. So I would love to be more like Jeff Beck. I would reject that person as an instructor because I can tell already they're going to be pulling at me in a direction that I don't want to head. And everybody's direction they want to head is their own business, and kind of that's the subjectivity of what your passion is. So, in short, my advice is only seek instruction when you have thoroughly vetted that the instructor is capable of aligning their instruction with your goals.